Welcome to the Numis Hunter, where we dive deep into the unbelievable world of rare coins and the hidden treasures that may be sitting quietly in your pocket change. Today, we explore an extraordinary story circulating through the numismatic community about a 1971 D quarter dollar coin, rumored to be worth up to $98 million because of its astonishing errors, mysterious origins, and the possibilities collectors believe may make it one of the most valuable modern coins ever discussed. And though most 1971 D quarters are common pocket coins worth only face value, this alleged example sparks the imagination of coin lovers everywhere, as it is said to contain a combination of mint anomalies that merge history, accident, and rarity into one unbelievable piece of metal. When we talk about this coin, people imagine a quarter emerging from the Denver Mint with multiple layers of mistakes, including unusual planchet composition, doubling on key inscriptions, rotation anomalies, and strike irregularities that separate it from every other quarter minted that year. Legends say that the 1971 D minting process struggled with machinery updates following the earlier nationwide shift away from silver and coins, and though by 1971 the mint had master-clad coinage, rumors persist that experimental planchets from earlier test runs might have accidentally slipped into production, creating a rare combination where a 1971 D quarter shows evidence of silver or an off-metal composition. Some even believe that one spectacular piece shows a mix of copper-nickel overlays with a silver-rich core, creating a strange weight discrepancy easily noticeable to an expert collector. And this possibility alone fuels massive excitement, because off-metal errors, especially in modern coinage, can bring unimaginable values on the market. But this is only the first layer of the mythical $98 million coin story. Collectors speak of double dies on the obverse side, where subtle yet powerful. Doubling can be seen on the word liberty, in God we trust, and even on George Washington's profile, with the doubling creating an almost ghost-like appearance that numismatists adore. Such doubling, if dramatic enough, can drive prices into figures most casual collectors can hardly believe. Yet the tale continues. Beyond doubled inscriptions, audiences whisper about reverse strike anomalies, as the eagle on the back appears unevenly struck with unusual feather patterns that look almost sculpted individually. And the D mint mark under magnification allegedly shows traces of repunching, as if the die used to stamp the mint mark slipped or was reapplied, creating a distinctive repetition that further separates this coin from every other quarter that left the Denver Mint that year. Many believe that this combination of multiple major errors would normally lead to the coin being caught during inspection. But somehow, if it slipped through quality control and entered the public, its journey only adds to its aura, because coins that survive decades unnoticed often build legends that grow with every retelling. And part of the magic is the mystery of where it might surface. Some believe it could be resting in an old jar, hidden in a drawer, or tucked away in the pocket change of someone who never realized the fortune they held. Further stories suggest that the coin may have a partial collar strike, causing the outer edge to look slightly misaligned, which would give the rim an odd, almost raised appearance. And the unique rims would signal to experts that the coin experienced pressure inconsistencies during minting. Another detail involves rotation, where the obverse and reverse images are not perfectly aligned, instead reportedly rotated several degrees. A rotational error so striking that if authenticated would elevate this piece into the highest tier of mint mistake royalty. Yet the story doesn't stop there, because some claims say the planchet might reveal traces of foreign metal impurities embedded microscopically into the surface, leading to shimmering color variations seen only under certain lighting. This rainbow-like effect enthralls specialists who know that unique toning combined with error rarity sparks fierce competitive bidding. And when such a coin enters a heated auction environment fueled by wealthy collectors who want to possess the unmatched, prices escalate into the millions, even into the unbelievable territory of $98 million as the myth suggests. Another enticing theory suggests that the coin could be part of a mint mule strike, where an obverse from one coin and the reverse from another design mismatched accidentally. Though unconfirmed and incredibly unlikely for a 1971 D quarter, such a mule error would create an instant world record because mismatched dies are among the rarest mint errors ever documented. Collectors also discuss the fantasy of a transitional error, where leftover silver planchets from years prior accidentally received a 1971 D strike. And while official records deny such pieces exist, numismatics thrives on the unknown, and stories of coins like the 1943 copper penny and the 1970s transitional quarters inspire imaginations to believe that somewhere, somehow, mistakes happen and history is forged in metal. And while experts debate the authenticity of these claims, enthusiasts imagine the possibility of hidden versions with unique strike doubling under Washington's chin, odd spacing in the date, or unusual texture around the edges where the metal did not settle correctly during its high-pressure formation. Many coin enthusiasts argue that a 1 in a billion piece like this 1971 D quarter could become priceless simply because it represents the pinnacle of rarity, mystery, excitement, and story. And stories matter in numismatics because collectors love a treasure hunt. They love the chase. They enjoy the whispers of legendary coins that may never surface, yet remain tantalizing. Possibilities, and over time these stories gain weight, value, and mythic status even without public display or auction, even though no common 1971 D quarter is known to be worth more than a small premium. The idea that a unique combination of mint mistakes could create a coin unlike any other drives collectors to inspect every quarter they encounter, checking for off-metal rings, unusual weight differences, doubling on letters, strange rotations, or odd rim shapes, because the dream of finding such a marvel motivates the hunt itself. If such a mythical quarter were authenticated by leading grading services, placed in the highest mint error category, and marketed globally to collectors who seek the unattainable, competitive bidding could push it into staggering financial territory, because the world of rare coins constantly rewards the unprecedented, and people with wealth sometimes chase trophies as symbols of prestige. And in the case of the 1971 D quarter story, every detail compounds the legend. Every error adds another layer. Every possibility shifts the value ever higher into the tens of millions. So the idea of a $98 million price tag becomes not just a number, but the culmination of rarity, speculation, passion, and desire, making people across the globe dig through their change to see if fate has chosen them, inspiring everyone to learn the tiny details of this coin and wonder what if. And that curiosity keeps the legend alive as collectors continue, searching and dreaming, hoping they might be the lucky person to discover the 1971 D quarter with every error imaginable hidden in plain sight, a symbol of mystery capable of changing a life forever. And with that, we hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the possibilities and legends surrounding the 1971 D quarter dollar, and why enthusiasts imagine it could carry a value as unbelievable as $98 million. Always keep looking, keep learning, and keep hunting, because you never know what treasure might be in your pocket. Thank you for joining us on the Numis Hunter. Next, the 1983 P quarter dollar coin, a coin whispered among collectors to be worth an astonishing $18 million because of its strange errors, unimaginable minting anomalies, historical quirks, and the lingering possibility that one extraordinary example escaped the Philadelphia mint carrying a combination of mistakes so unique that it could elevate an ordinary piece of currency into one of the most priceless modern collectibles ever discussed. And as we begin this thrilling Adventure together, we invite you to settle in, because the tale of this legendary coin revolves not only around its fascinating errors, but also around the suspense that builds when numismatic folklore mixes with mystery, rarity, and the chance that someone somewhere might unknowingly possess a fortune. For the 1983 P quarter is normally a plain clad coin, carrying no silver content and serving everyday transactions across the United States. Yet rumors spread of one extraordinary piece that slipped through quality control, carrying a strange blend of misstrikes, doubling, off-metal composition, structural inconsistencies, and minting quirks that make its existence a magnet for treasure hunters and dreamers. And though most 1983 quarters show wear from decades of circulation, this legendary coin is said to contain a mystical lineup of error traits rarely, if ever, seen together. And this perfect storm of mistakes drives speculation that it could command a price of $18 million if authenticated and introduced to the high-end market where wealthy collectors battle fiercely for exclusivity. The story begins with the idea that 1983 was a transitional time in the mechanics of the minting process, with machines undergoing adjustments and dies sometimes wearing prematurely, potentially causing doubling effects on various inscriptions, particularly noticeable in the date. The word liberty and the phrase "in God we trust" were collectors' claim that the strongest example of doubling on this mythical coin is so vivid that it appears like two layers of metal stamped over each other, making the text look alive and almost vibrating on the surface under magnification. And this kind of dramatic doubling effect, often referred to as a double die error, creates a powerful draw among collectors because such visual anomalies add to the uniqueness and rarity needed to elevate a coin's value skyward. But this is only the beginning, because another dimension to the story involves the possibility of an off-metal planchet used for this mysterious coin, as some believe that instead of the standard copper-nickel clad composition used in 1983, the coin might have been struck on an experimental planchet that could include traces of silver or other metallic impurities, leading to a slightly different weight than normal. And coins with anomalous metal composition are incredibly sought after, as history has proven with the likes of transitional errors, off-metal, Lincoln cents, and special die strikes. And if the 1983 P quarter ever surfaced with such attributes, its rarity would skyrocket, propelling its potential value into the millions. Next, we explore more subtle mysteries in this story, such as the rim and collar, where whispers tell that this coin may exhibit a broad strike error, causing the rim to appear wider or oddly shaped compared to a standard 1983 P quarter, and broad strike errors occur when the collar that holds the coin blank in place during striking fails, allowing metal to expand outward in unexpected ways, giving the coin a distorted but captivating appearance. And such a feature instantly signals to experienced eyes that the coin's origin involved mechanical mishaps. And beyond this unusual rim, there could be rotational misalignment between the obverse and reverse sides, meaning that when the front image of George Washington is upright, the reverse featuring the iconic eagle is rotated off-angle, a rotation error that is highly desirable among error collectors because it is both visually apparent and exceedingly rare, contributing significantly to the potential valuation of the coin. As if all that were not enough, the reverse side of this fabled coin allegedly showcases another layer of intrigue, with repunching visible inside the mint mark P, indicating that the mint mark may have been applied more than once, resulting in a ghosted or shadow-like effect under close inspection, and a repunched mint mark. Errors suggest that the die used to stamp the P underwent correction, leaving evidence of double impressions that add yet another rare characteristic to this coin's growing list of peculiarities. And deepening the story even further, whispers surround the presence of lamination issues on the surface of the coin, where parts of the metal appear to split or peel slightly, due to impurities or bonding imperfections during the minting process, and such lamination anomalies on an already loaded error. Coin would make it virtually unmatched, because every strange detail adds personality and fuels the belief that this coin might be a once-in-a-lifetime phenomenon. And then there's the tale of texture inconsistencies, uneven metal flow across the coin surface, or subtle color variations that give it a rainbow-like toning, sometimes caused by particular environmental or chemical exposure over time. As collectors recognize that unusual toning combined with error features increases the coin's desirability and market value by enhancing its visual appeal, and when these attributes merge into a single piece, they create an irresistible prize for anyone passionate about rare coins. As legends grow, stories also explore the possibility that this 1983p quarter might be a mule error, which means it could have been accidentally struck with mismatched dies from different coin types. And although such an error is exceedingly rare and largely isolated to a handful of known examples in history, the existence of a mule quarter from 1983 would undoubtedly make it world famous, instantly launching its valuation into the realm of intense bidding wars, because mule errors are among the most coveted treasures in numismatics, believed by many to be true miracles of minting chaos. Another curious detail involves the pressure of the strike, as some theorize that this coin may have been struck with excessive or insufficient pressure, resulting in uneven depth in the images and inscriptions. And if parts of George Washington's hair, the eagle's feathers, or the lettering appear either flattened from a weak strike or sharply raised from an overstrike, such results would again indicate a rare printer anomaly, further reinforcing why this single coin might be worshipped as a perfect specimen of compounded mint mistakes, justifying its mythic $18 million figure. And through all these interpretations and theories, we return to the essence of what drives the fascination: the possibility that someone somewhere holds a simple pocket coin that could transform their life, and a mystery that surrounds the 1983p quarter inspires treasure hunts across drawers, closets, fields, and flea markets as countless enthusiasts look for any sign of doubling, rotation, rim distortion, lamination, rainbow toning, or weight anomalies that might hint they possess the legendary piece. And even though millions of 1983p quarters continue to circulate, the dream that a single example, with all these attributes combined, could exist fuels the excitement of collectors across the world, reinforcing the belief that great discoveries still await in the most ordinary places, because numismatics thrives on hope, curiosity, and the endless pursuit of the next great find, beyond the physical characteristics and speculative value. The story of this coin gains momentum from the sense of mystique that evolves from oral tradition, internet rumors, coin forums, auction whispers, and collector conversations that often spark legends bigger than truth. Because sometimes a coin's value is not only about what it is, but what people believe it could be. And while officially authenticated examples of 1983p quarters do not command such unimaginable prices in the market today, the hypothetical scenario of a multi-level error coin achieving such status captivates enthusiasts, keeping them engaged in the pursuit of knowledge, observation, and discovery, imagining a day when such a piece might surface publicly and ignite a bidding war among wealthy collectors eager to adorn their collections with a modern marvel of minting anomalies. Next, the 1980D $quarter coin that has stunned collectors and treasure hunters, with rumors claiming it could be worth an astonishing $26 million because of its strange errors, shocking defects, and minting mistakes that make it stand out as a one-in-a-billion masterpiece that defies normal expectations. And although most 1980D quarters are ordinary and still used in daily transactions, this legendary example is said to carry layers of unusual features from the moment it was struck, turning an everyday coin into a numismatic phenomenon. So allow yourself to get fully immersed in this thrilling journey as we examine the potential errors, minting anomalies, and all the possibilities that collectors believe could make this coin so valuable. Because if such a coin truly exists, then someone somewhere may be in possession of a life-changing treasure without even realizing it. The legend begins with whispers that the 1980 quarter was struck during a period of minting transitions, when the Denver Mint was adjusting machines and refining production flows. And in the midst of these changes, there may have been a small window of mechanical instability leading to the production of a handful of dramatically flawed coins. And one of the primary features elevating this mythical example to extraordinary status is said to be a double die on the obverse, meaning that the image of George Washington, the word liberty, the date 1980, and even the phrase "in God we trust" display noticeable doubling, giving them a ghost-like appearance that seems to overlap itself. And for experienced collectors, a double die is one of the most desirable errors because it is visually distinct and easy to notice under magnification. And this kind of doubling could alone make a coin extremely valuable. But the story of the $26,001,980 D quarter becomes even more intense as more errors pile on top of one another like some impossible combination of minting. Chaos. The second major error spoken about involves a strange anomaly in the metal composition of the coin, as some theorists suggest that this mysterious piece may have been struck on an off-metal planchet, perhaps even a leftover silver planchet from test runs or an experimental blend, because while typical 1980 quarters are copper nickel-clad coins with a specific weight, the alleged $26 million specimen has a slightly different weight, hinting that its metallic core might differ from a standard planchet. And off-metal planchet errors are among the most valuable types of coin mistakes because they prove that something went seriously wrong in the minting process. And since such errors are incredibly rare, especially in modern quarters, their appearance in a 1980 D coin could elevate its value into the millions, continuing deeper into the tale. The reverse side supposedly displays clear signs of a repunched mint mark, known among collectors as an RPM error, where the D-mint mark appears doubled or slightly offset, as if the die used to stamp it slipped or was reapplied. And this subtle but distinct shadowing around the mint mark adds yet another layer of uniqueness to this legendary coin. Then we turn to the possibility of a broad strike or partial collar error, meaning that the rim of the coin may appear expanded, stretched, uneven, or misshaped because the collar that normally holds the planchet tightly during the striking process might not have functioned correctly, causing the metal to spread outward in an unusual manner. And this type of error often leads to coins with irregular edges and smeared or distorted details, making them instantly recognizable to collectors who know what to look for. Another fascinating possibility discussed in numismatic circles is that of a rotated die error, where the obverse and reverse alignment are off, meaning when the head side of the coin is upright, the eagle on the reverse is rotated several degrees rather than matching a correct top to bottom orientation. And rotated die errors are highly desirable because they are visually dramatic and easy for collectors to confirm without needing microscopic analysis, allowing them to stand out among the sea of ordinary coins. Further feeding the myth is the belief that this extraordinary 1980 D quarter might display lamination errors, visible as peeling or flaking layers where parts of the metal seem to lift away from the surface because of impurities in the planchet or temperature issues during striking. And lamination errors add unique textures to a coin, making every example different and visually intriguing, as though each is a tiny sculpture shaped by mistake rather than intent. But the story continues even deeper, as the coin is said to possess uneven toning and color irregularities that give its metal surface a rainbow effect in certain lighting conditions, caused by the combination of environmental exposure and unique composition. And while toning alone does not guarantee high value, Unusual toning on top of multiple dramatic minting errors becomes a key ingredient in the appeal of this legendary specimen. Next, we explore the mind-bending theory that this 1980D quarter could be a mule error, meaning it was struck using mismatched dies. Perhaps pairing the obverse of a quarter with the reverse of another denomination, such as a dime or a foreign coin entirely. And although virtually no such mule error is known from 1980D quarters, the theoretical possibility of such a mistake instantly drives the imagination of collectors to sky-high levels, since mule errors are among the rarest and most valuable coins in existence, capable of commanding million-dollar prices even without the additional errors mentioned here. And this might help explain how this coin could theoretically reach the $26 million valuation whispered in collector circles. Another detail involves the strike pressure. Inconsistencies that could have resulted in areas of the design appearing flat and muted, while other parts show intense sharpness, suggesting that the coin may have been struck with uneven force. And such anomalies can indicate machinery malfunction or timing issues, adding yet another fascinating layer to an already impossible series of mistakes. And the eagle on the reverse is rumored to show unusual details in its feathers, almost as though the die was partially polished, causing parts of the design to blur while others remain crisp, creating a surreal image that grabs the eye. But even more intriguing are the reports of microscopic metal streaks on the coin's surface, which could indicate contamination in the minting process. Tiny traces of foreign metal embedded into the planchet that, when magnified, present a shimmering effect unique to this one piece, making it instantly recognizable and distinct from any other quarter ever struck. Some tales suggest that the date on this coin might show spacing anomalies, where the numbers 1, 9, 8, and 0 appear unevenly spaced or tilted, hinting at die deterioration or accidental retooling. And while this might seem small compared to the other issues, it contributes to the coin's unique identity. Because when collectors find a coin combining multiple rare features, especially doubling off-metal composition, repunched mint marks, rotational errors, lamination flaws, broad strikes, and uneven toning, they know they may be dealing with a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. Then consider the possibility that this coin might display a partial missing clad layer, revealing either a copper core beneath or an oddly colored surface where parts of the nickel coating failed to bond, and missing clad layer errors are extremely sought after and visually dramatic, confirming that mistakes occurred during the planchet preparation long before the coin was struck, giving it yet another incredible point of uniqueness. And if all these features somehow combined in a single 1980D quarter, it would immediately become a legendary artifact capable of drawing worldwide collector attention and soaring auction prices. And considering that wealthy collectors routinely battle for unique pieces that showcase breathtaking rarity and irresistible stories, it is not impossible to imagine bidding escalating beyond $26 million if such a coin were authenticated, certified, and brought to market, because the world of ultra-rare coins is driven by passion, competition, and the idea that owning a unique piece of history is worth any price. And the tale of this mythical coin fuels the dreams of treasure hunters everywhere. Next, the 1978 $quarter coin that collectors claim could be valued at an astounding $12 million because of strange minting errors, shocking production mistakes, and curious anomalies that have created legends among coin lovers who search pocket change every day, hoping that the next handful of coins might deliver them a life-changing moment. And although many people walk past spare change without a thought, those who know the truth about numismatic possibilities understand that even a late 20th century coin like the 1978 quarter can carry value beyond imagination when specific errors are present. beginning with the fact that 1978 was a pre-statehood era when the United States Mint produced millions of circulating quarters bearing George Washington's familiar portrait on the obverse and the iconic heraldic eagle on the reverse. But among those countless business strike coins, a tiny handful are rumored to hold extraordinary minting flaws, such as double dies off, center strikes, wrong-planchet strikes, metal composition abnormalities, weak strikes, missing design details, and issue-specific damage that occurred within the mint itself rather than after circulation. And when an error originates from minting rather than post-mint handling, collectors know the value can skyrocket because mint errors are a natural product of production processes and therefore become numismatic artifacts capturing a moment of historical technological imperfection, which makes them irreplaceable and highly desirable. So the idea that a 1978 quarter may reach a theoretical value of $12 million draws attention to the handful of specimens suspected to house multiple layered defects like dramatic doubling visible on the motto or digits of the date, which gives the coin an odd ghosting effect that fascinates graders. An off-metal strike, where the quarter may have accidentally been struck on a planchet intended for a different denomination, such as a nickel, clad, dime, or even foreign coinage planchet leading to distinct weight and color anomalies. And in some cases, a misaligned die strike, where the obverse and reverse design do not line up correctly, creating a rotational misalignment that instantly piques the curiosity of experts who recognize that such combinations of errors elevate rarity into previously unimaginable value territory, and legends in coin communities whisper about a particular 1978 quarter discovered with a wrong planchet composition, where the metal makeup showed traces not normally found in the standard clad quarter of copper-nickel layers, but instead demonstrated unusual density gradients that suggested a misfeed in the mint's production machinery. And this metal deviation, combined with a strong double die on Liberty and Iron God, we trust, along with a faintly struck eagle missing some feather definition, created a piece so unusual that professional graders could not fully categorize it using conventional error terminology, which only intensified collector demand and theoretical valuation, leading many to believe that if such a piece appeared at a high-profile auction backed by reputable provenance, it could attract multi-million-dollar bids, not simply due to rarity, but also the story behind how such a minting accident could have survived quality control, slipped into circulation, and remained hidden for decades until a lucky finder casually examined an old coffee jar full of loose change and noticed that the design looked slightly off. And as the world of coin collecting thrives on mystery, stories of the $12 million 1978 quarter have spread among treasure hunters who now examine their change more carefully, searching for strange edge coloration where the copper core may look too thin or too thick, indicators that the planchet was incorrect or improperly bonded during the laminating stage. And some collectors report seeing 1978 quarters showing incomplete reading on the edge or one-sided reading, which may suggest that the collar die malfunctioned during striking, bringing deeper fascination to the idea that multiple minting machine errors could converge in a single production moment. And these layered imperfections make collectors imagine the unlikely yet exciting possibility that a perfect storm of minting failures could produce a single quarter so unique that its value transcends normal auction results. While beyond metal composition and strike oddities, some claim that there exist 1978 quarters featuring dramatic off-center strikes where part of the design is missing entirely and the blank planchet surface is visible, an error already known to fetch thousands in typical years, but in combination with doubling or wrong metal can see values multiply exponentially because an off-center strike with readable date is one of the most desired configurations, providing both dramatic error visuals and clear identification, and enthusiasts suggest that the rumor of A $12 million valuation comes from theoretical appraisals that compound multiple error types into an unprecedented specimen. Something so bizarre that it may exist only once or twice in the world, thus establishing mythic value and drawing treasure seekers toward flea markets, inherited coin jars, and old bank rolls hoping that their overlooked pocket change might hide this dream coin. And while the standard 1978 quarter normally carries only face value, collectors carefully examine the obverse portrait of Washington, looking for doubling on facial features, hair details, and the motto that might appear thick or shadowed, while on the reverse the eagle's wings, arrows, and lettering provide further clues because mechanical doubling and true double dies produce different visual behaviors, but either can help generate collector excitement and drive theoretical valuations into the stratosphere, especially when coupled with unusual planchet quality, such as broad strike distortion, where the coin's shape is slightly expanded, giving it a stretched profile that stands out even to an untrained eye. And when we picture the story of someone finding this extraordinary 1978 quarter, perhaps hidden in an old collection or discovered accidentally during a mundane task like counting laundry coins, we understand why collectors romanticize the hunt, since these discoveries transform ordinary people into overnight legends within the numismatic world, creating stories passed from collector to collector, inspiring more searches, stimulating more debates, and adding energy to the ongoing pursuit of minting miracles. And such mythical valuations can be driven further by the nature of provenance as a coin tied to an interesting origin story or dramatic discovery narrative gains emotional resonance that influences market desire. Meaning that even though most 1978 quarters will never exceed a small premium, the possibility of an extreme multi-era rarity keeps hope alive and motivates countless hobbyists to look closer at their change every day, turning routine moments into treasure hunts and encouraging collectors to learn about minting technology, strike pressure, die life, and metal composition so they can better evaluate unusual finds and even imagine how a simple coin could command millions. And although no documented 1978 quarter has sold for $12 million, the thrilling idea of such potential value helps spread awareness of error coins and builds enthusiasm in the numismatic community, inviting people to join the adventure and never underestimate the power of curiosity, patience, and luck when handling everyday currency, because you never know when a normal-looking coin might be the one that changes your life forever just by being in your hand. Next, the 1988 quarter dollar coin, which some collectors believe has reached a staggering $41 million because of extraordinary minting errors, strange production mistakes, and unique possibilities that can turn an ordinary-looking Washington quarter into a breathtaking fortune. And while most people never pay attention to the year stamped on their loose change, those with a passion for numismatics understand that a single rare error coin can make all the difference, transforming spare pocket money into a once-in-a-lifetime prize. So let's dive deep into the world of this remarkable 1988 quarter and unravel the hidden secrets that make it such an incredible topic of discussion among collectors of all levels as we explore legends of double dies, off-center strikes, struck-through materials, wrong-planchet events, clip planchets, metal composition anomalies, weak strikes, and mysterious design distortions that elevate curiosity and excitement. Because when minting, machinery fails or unusual conditions occur at the United States Mint, a coin can receive strange results that are accidental, unpredictable, and irreplicable, giving birth to specimens that stun experts and thrill collectors. And when such a rare piece surfaces with multiple major errors, the theoretical value can skyrocket into the millions because rarity is the foundation of numismatic value, and the fascination with a 1988 quarter begins with the fact that Philadelphia Mint strikes occasionally displayed interesting die variations that year, which led to the possibility of double die coins where the inscriptions Liberty or I in God we trust appeared doubled, uneven, shadowed, or strangely thick, giving the details a mesmerizing look that stands out even to an untrained eye. And when these doubling effects apply to the date itself, especially on the digits of 1988. The coin instantly jumps into a rarer classification because double dates are treasured among collectors and become even more desirable when paired with visibility and sharp definition. But the story gets more unbelievable when we add the possibility of off-center striking, a phenomenon where the coin's design is misaligned during striking, resulting in part of the image appearing incomplete or absent as blank planchet space becomes visible. And an off-center strike with a readable date is among the most coveted combinations in the error coin world because it preserves identifying information while presenting dramatic imperfection, making the coin both recognizable and visually stunning. And when such an error is extreme enough to remove large portions of the portrait or eagle wings on the reverse, collectors become even more fascinated because dramatic off-centering implies that quality control somehow failed to capture the unusual strike before it escaped into circulation, offering a glimpse into the unpredictable nature of minting machinery and beyond doubling and off-center effects. Some 1988 P quarters may also exhibit wrong planchet events where instead of being struck on a copper-nickel clad planchet intended for quarter production, the coin may have been struck on a smaller or lighter metal blank, such as a dime planchet or even a foreign coin planchet, creating differences in weight, size, and color that make them instantly recognizable to experts and extremely valuable due to their rarity. And when such mismatches occur, the design often doesn't fully fit on the planchet, causing partial loss of inscriptions, missing details, and distorted features that make the piece unmistakably rare, while other rare 1988 P quarters may reveal clipping errors where the edge of the planchet is partially cut away before striking, forming a crescent-shaped missing section known as a clipped planchet error that collectors adore because it provides visible evidence of a planchet preparation issue. And when clipping combines with double dies or off-center patterns, the value multiplies because it is extremely unusual for a coin to contain more than one serious mint error. And on top of these structural flaws, metal composition anomalies further escalate interest. Because although the 1988 P quarter is normally composed of copper-nickel clad, rumors claim that an extremely small, unknown number of experimental planchets may have slipped into production during that era, resulting in color shifts, unusual densities, and uncharacteristic edge layer profiles that only laboratory testing or precise analysis can confirm. And if a real example of a 1988 P quarter struck on anomalous alloy surfaced, especially combined with doubling, wrong planchet, or off-center execution, it could draw unimaginable bidding wars at major auctions, pushing value estimates into astronomical ranges. And this is where the mythical $41 million valuation takes shape, because collectors imagine that if a single extraordinary specimen combined multiple significant errors into one coin, it would not only be a minting curiosity, but also a one-of-a-kind artifact that could attract wealthy bidders, museums, institutional collectors, and historical investors wanting bragging rights for owning a coin with no known equal. And it's this idea of compounded rarity that fuels the excitement around the legendary 1988 P quarter, encouraging people everywhere to inspect their change more carefully, hoping to spot oddities like missing letters, incomplete devices, unusual reading patterns on the edge, or faint ghost images that might indicate doubled striking, mechanical doubling, or even over-polishing, which can remove fine details from the eagle's feathers or Washington's hair curls, leaving a strangely smooth yet mint-produced surface that fascinates specialists. And when we consider that most people don't realize the importance of dye deterioration, We find that late-stage dyes sometimes produce softer details, dye cracks, or raised lines on the coin's surface, which can increase numismatic intrigue, since dye cracks can vary from subtle hairline fractures to dramatic raised ridges that stretch across major design elements, providing dramatic visual texture, and each die crack tells a story about the metal stress at the time of striking, making some collectors treat them like tiny historical scars. But when such cracks intersect with a coin already featuring doubling or off-center placement, the uniqueness becomes undeniable, boosting theoretical value even more. And what makes the legend of the 1988 P quarter so gripping is its narrative possibility, where a small, unnoticed coin circulates quietly for years before landing in the hands of someone with enough patience to examine it. And that simple act transforms an overlooked piece into a life-changing discovery, sparking new interest in the hobby and reminding everyone that treasure may exist in pockets around the world, while rumors of a discovered specimen locked away in a private collection feed speculation and add mystery, creating an atmosphere where even the idea of such a coin encourages collectors to dream, explore, and learn, because the thrill of numismatics lies not only in wealth, but in the stories behind these pieces of metal that travel through time, culture, and commerce, carrying silent histories with them. And the theoretical value of $41 million reflects not only rarity, but romanticism, because if auctions can reach tens of millions for rare art, stamps, or historical metals, then an unprecedented multi-error coin with dramatic visual flaws and historic narrative could indeed someday draw similarly sky-high bids, meaning that although most 1988 P quarters will forever remain worth only face value, the chance of finding that one incredible example keeps the dream alive and inspires countless hobbyists to return again and again to the search through loose change at home, coin rolls from the bank, or inherited boxes filled with old currency, hoping that a miracle coin might be hidden inside, waiting for discovery as the next legendary masterpiece whose value transcends belief and places the finder's name in numismatic history forever. Last, today we dive into the unbelievable story surrounding the 1984 D quarter-dollar coin that collectors and dreamers claim could be worth an astounding $24 million because of its incredible minting errors, strange mistakes, and unique possibilities that set it apart from ordinary Washington quarters. And while most people toss their pocket change aside without a second look, those who understand numismatics know that a single rare error coin can change everything, turning ordinary metal into unimaginable fortune. So now we begin this thrilling journey into why the 1984 D quarter is so intriguing, how these rare errors may have happened, and what makes collectors believe that one extraordinary specimen out there could command a price so astonishing that it instantly becomes legendary. As we remember that the Denver Mint in 1984 produced millions of quarters marked with the D Mint mark beneath the portrait of George Washington, yet among those millions, only a tiny group may contain strange anomalies that defy expectations, beginning with the possibility of a double die obverse where the inscriptions Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, or even the digits in the year 1984 appear doubled, shadowed, or strangely thick, producing a ghost-like visual effect that makes the coin immediately recognizable as unusual. And such doubling can occur when the die used to strike the coin is improperly prepared, causing multiple impressions to overlap and create a bold and dramatic error that collectors highly desire, especially when it affects prominent features such as the date or the lettering. But the mystery deepens when we add the possibility of off-center strikes, where the design is struck away from the center of the planchet, leaving blank spaces and cutting off parts of Washington's portrait or the heraldic eagle on the reverse. And an off-center strike that still preserves the date is especially valuable because it provides clear identity while presenting dramatic visual misalignment that collectors love, and more extreme off-center examples can look almost surreal with nearly half the design missing, creating an immediate rarity that naturally boosts market desirability. And when we consider that multiple errors occurring together exponentially increase value, we begin to understand how this coin could reach a theoretical value in the tens of millions. But we cannot stop there because this legendary 1984 D quarter is also rumored to be associated with wrong-planchet strikes, where the coin was somehow struck on a metal blank intended for a different denomination or even a foreign coin, leading to unusual weight, color, or diameter. And when the design does not fully fit the metal blank, parts of the lettering or portrait may be missing or compressed, adding dramatic character to the coin while providing a clear sign of minting error. And wrong-planchet errors are among the rarest in numismatics, creating intense excitement when discovered because they represent major breakdowns in normal minting process. And a 1984 D quarter with such traits would be rare enough to attract elite collectors, museums, or even investors willing to pay large sums. But what truly elevates this story to mythical status is the possibility that the coin could feature multiple layers of error, such as being struck on a foreign planchet, off-center, and also bearing a double die, which would make it one of the rarest minting mistakes ever encountered. And collectors dream of such combinations because the chances of each error happening simultaneously are astronomically low, creating a one-of-a-kind piece that becomes priceless in the eyes of numismatic enthusiasts and beyond doubling and planchet anomalies. The 1984 D quarter may also appear with strike-through errors, where foreign materials accidentally interfere between the dies and the planchet during striking, resulting in strange shapes, depressions, or textures embedded within the coin's surface. And these strike-through marks can create dramatic patterns that make the coin even more visually appealing and unique, possibly increasing perceived value immensely, especially when combined with other errors. While another fascinating possibility is die cracks appearing as raised lines running across Washington's face, neck, hair, or the reverse eagle's wings. And these die cracks demonstrate metal stress within the minting tools, offering further proof of unusual conditions during production. And larger die cracks can even form dramatic breaks that collectors call shattered dies, giving the coin a rugged, battle-scarred appearance that stands out. But one of the most exciting attributes that could play a role in the hypothetical value of $24 million is an off-metal composition, where the core alloy differs from the normal copper-nickel clad planchet of standard quarters. And if metallurgical testing revealed that the composition was wrong, containing elements not normally used for 1984 quarters, it would add scientific intrigue to historical value, pushing collector interest further. And some stories speculate that the Denver Mint might have experimented with or accidentally used test blanks for foreign contracts, which could explain how such a rare and unusual coin found its way into circulation. And another possibility includes the existence of broad strikes, where the quarter was struck without a collar, causing it to expand beyond normal diameter and lose edge reading, giving it a wide, flattened appearance that draws immediate attention. And when broad strikes combine with other error features, the uniqueness increases dramatically. And then there are clipped planchets where a part of the coin's edge appears missing because the metal was improperly cut before striking, resulting in a crescent-shaped section missing from the rim. And clipped planchets are visually dramatic and collectible on their own. But when combined with doubling, striking misalignment, or wrong metal composition, they amplify rarity even more, helping explain why collectors dream of extraordinary valuations. And we must consider how rumors build excitement within the numismatic world, because even if only one such unique coin exists, its story can evolve into myth, inspiring endless searches through old change jars, inherited collections, and bankrolls. And while the majority of 1984D quarters will forever remain worth only face value, the possibility of discovering one of the greatest mint errors ever created keeps collectors energized, teaching newcomers to look carefully at every detail, including Washington's facial features, hair curls, and neckline, along with the eagle's feathers, arrows, and lettering on the reverse, because any unusual softness, doubling, or distortion might hold the key to an extraordinary discovery. And collectors also pay attention to edge reading because missing or distorted lines can signal errors related to the collar die, which help determine authenticity and rarity. And the tale of a $24 million 1984D quarter fuels the imagination of hobbyists everywhere who cling to the dream that they could be the one to discover this priceless treasure hiding in everyday circulation, serving as a reminder that unimaginable fortune can be found in the simplest places, inspiring us to look closer, examine carefully, and treasure the adventure of numismatics where the ordinary becomes extraordinary and a humble quarter may turn out to be the key to a new life, proving that within every piece of change lies the potential for history, mystery, and unexpected miracles waiting to be uncovered by those bold enough to look.